Let us see. I don't know why I just want to spontaneously go live. I've already gone live this week. Might as well do it again. It's fun. Or at least try to go live again. But it doesn't say it's live, which is very interesting. I know what's going to happen. I obviously know what's going to happen. So I wrote it. You get it? They had a clear sign that we are working. For now. Might as well tweet it out. Let people know we're on. Even though I do have an upload. I can do a few chapters here. Because I don't care. Do not fall asleep, thank you. Oh, it pains me to just write this again. It'll be worth it. No. You did it. No. Yes. And squid as characters and more, but and more as characters. Dear, I have written it. Now people can join in if they feel like it. Still live, which is good. First try, a success. Hello. Whoa. Like, I can't put do not disturb. Like, whoa. I don't really mind about my real name. To be honest. I can see the chat. I can do this. Go home. Go home. Over here. Open this. Like, I have Google Slides on because I'm working on something. One of them will be uploading today. And yeah, I can do a little bit of reading. We're on chapter 14. We're getting to the interesting part. Like, yeah. Like, something's gonna happen in this chapter. I can assure you that. It's not gonna be boring. It's not gonna be full of worries and concerns and like, oh, it'll be alright. We'll figure something out. We'll be ready. Like, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I can unplug my thingy. We don't need that right now. Like, I was between doing Minecraft and this. And I decided I wanted to do this. Yeah. So I can get through a few more chapters. It's like, it doesn't have to be a long stream. It could be a little bit. It's like, thing is, good. We've made it to chapter 8. It's taking a while. Chapter 8 has arrived. And we're on chapter 9. Chapter 10. You're getting a sneak preview of a few sentences as I slowly, surely get to chapter 14, because I finished chapter 13 before deciding to quit. He was going live then. And I'm like, I don't want to interrupt that, and he's just finished, so might as well do it. Alright, we're almost there. We're at chapter 13. Slow down. Good. Now you're getting, yeah, this is right. We are in chapter 14. Well, first it'll be pretty calm. Maybe a little sweet. I like this. Chapter 14. Stampy looked up at the ceiling in his bedroom, finding it difficult to fall asleep, as the sun shone brighter in the room, rising higher and higher into the sky. No matter how hard he tried, sleep would not come. He knew he was exhausted, and he needed sleep, but his mind was just too busy to sleep, too busy to relax. The cat let out a frustrated sigh as he tried to close his eyes, willing and hoping for sleep to overtake him, not caring if there was a chance for a nightmare to surface. After all, some sleep was better than none at all. And yet he couldn't do it. His mind was too preoccupied, and there was nothing he could really do about it. He tossed and turned in his bed, struggling to find some sort of rest, only leaving him empty-handed and frustrated. What else could he do? He was stuck in his room until he actually slept, and yet he couldn't even do that. But before he was able to give up on any hope of sleeping, one of the doors to his bedroom opened, because he has two, and the cat looked to see the duckling walking in quietly, calmly. Curious look on her face. I hear you're having trouble sleeping? She asked simply, not accusing him or blaming him for anything. Just asking questions that sounded fair and honest. You could say so, the cat sighed. I really do want to get some sleep. I know I need it, but for the past couple of days I just can't seem to do it. Do you know why that is? She asked. The duckling asked. The cat paused, thinking about the question thoughtfully, before responding. Well, the first night could have been just the uncertainty of letting my friends go, or the fear of something happening to them. And last night, I was woken up by a nightmare that scared me. I guess I'm a bit unsure I can go back to sleep. You know what I'm going to suggest then, don't you? She moved softly, pulling a chair closer so that it was next to the cat's bed. Yeah, I do, the cat said. But do you really think it'll help? Close your eyes and we'll see, she said gently, brushing back the fur from the cat's eyes, blah, 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 blah. As her eyes met his. Go ahead, do it. You can trust me. I do trust you. Hi, the cat said softly, as he reluctantly closed his eyes, hearing Squishy beginning to sing softly to him. A song of peace and harmony, relaxing and calm melody that resounded and reflected a paradise of freedom and everlasting happiness. A place he so dearly wanted to be in. Away from the fear. Away from the uncertainties. Even though there still was a threat out there, he felt safe. Surely safe. As he drifted off, the cat could hear the duckling's song fade as he felt a gentle kiss on his forehead, as well as a promise that she wouldn't be far if he needed her. The cat couldn't help but smile. It was something he had desperately needed. But the bliss calmness only lasted a moment when it dimmed, transporting him to the middle of his town in the darkest nights. Alone. That's never good. The cat looked around the area, the silence louder than anything he had ever heard. But that wasn't what unnerved him. It was how dark his world was, how ominous it looked, especially when lack of torches. Was the googlies be spawning everywhere? Where were all the torches? Suddenly he heard the sound of footsteps behind him and the hint of smoke wafting in his direction. He turned to see someone holding a long torch in his hand. The man was tall and had broad shoulders. His position felt awfully I said that really wrong. Position felt awfully familiar. A man he hadn't seen since he had been taken from the room of no requirement weeks ago. Gerald? The cat stuttered in shock, taking a step back as the lone man smiled, his features briefly illuminated in the torchlight. "You're so surprised to see me, cat," the man said slowly, as he took a step closer. "And yet you should have expected me to return. You know very well that I would find you." "What do you want with me?" the cat demanded, taking another step back as the man raised the torch higher, brightening more of his face, sharpening his features as he did so. "What do you think I want, cat?" the man mused, with a slight smile. "I want you, cat. I want to finish what I started. This time, there's no one who will be able to stop me." "No?" the cat said, shaking his head as the man extended the torch in his direction. "You can't." "And who could stop me? You?" The man chuckled as he shook his head. "You're nothing against me, cat. Your friends have abandoned you. You're on your own. You can't possibly win against me, especially when it can mean losing everything you worked so hard for." "No," the cat said in disbelief. "Hey-oh!" As the man swung the torch towards one of the buildings, it suddenly burst in flames. He watched in horror as the flames jumped from one building to another, rapidly consuming the town and the world around it. "No, you can't!" "I believe it's already done," the man sneered as it came closer. The cat walked back, only to be stopped by a wall of flames behind him. He could smell the smoke and flames as he watched the man approach. He was trapped. Vulnerable. "Hi." Vulnerable and afraid. He had lost. He had failed to stop this man, and now he was left to watch as everything was destroyed. The man came closer. The flames came closer, surrounding them as the cat could feel himself sweating against the heat. He had nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. The man was closing in, reaching out to grab him. The cat gasped in horror as the man lunged toward him, and the fire came closer around him as he made a dodge. The man only to feel a sharp burning sensation as he hit the ground. The ground underneath him was covered in red-hot coals. The man grinned down at the cat as the flames surrounded them, only feet away from consuming them. "Any last words before you turn into ashes and dust? Nothing more than a memory the people would see you as burning." "I'm not a..." the cat protested before it turned into screams as he struggled against the burning sensation that was spreading all over him. A memory so painful that it was that it was unbearable. He screamed again before finding himself sitting upright in his bed again, shaking with fear and despair, only to realize it was just a dream. A horrible nightmare. "Oh, not again," the cat groaned, putting his head in his paws as he shook his head, wiping the stray tears and sweat from his eyes and face. He was shaky and frightened. He knew it wasn't just Gerald or Mr. A he was scared of, but what they were capable of. They could take everything from him. They could destroy everything he worked for, kill everyone he cared about, leaving him with nothing. Was this what they were planning? Was this what they wanted from him? Was Was this what he deserved? He didn't know. The cat sighed as he pulled the covers off his bed and climbed out of bed and walked over to the door. He didn't care whether or not he still needed rest. He needed to move, to do something, to get his mind off the horror he'd just seen. When he came out of his bedroom, he didn't see anyone nearby, and he didn't realize that he had begun to walk out of his house until he had made it out of the front entrance and down the path, not knowing where he was going, but needed to get out, to clear his mind, just do something. He didn't go far until he heard a familiar whine behind him, something that brought him back to reality as he turned to find Barnaby standing behind him, his tail low, his head high in determination. Cat smiled at the dog sadly. I need to do this. I can't just sit around and not do something. I know it's dangerous, but I don't want someone to try to stop me. The dog growled softly, going over and attempting to nudge the cat back to the house. Cat sighed. I don't know what to do anymore, but I can't go back and be reminded of everything I could lose. I don't want to be sitting around, wondering if I would ever get a peaceful sleep. So I want so badly. That I so badly want. Not the awful nightmares that haunt my mind. How can I do this, Barnaby? How did I sleep without fear again? I just don't know what to do. Still, walking by yourself isn't a smart move either, a familiar voice said from not too far away. The cat whirled around to find Squid leaning against one of the buildings, raising an eyebrow curiously, as if he had been there the whole time. You followed me? The cat asked in surprise. Squid smiled and nodded. Yep, I did. I didn't want you going out on your own, especially when the boy's been pretty clear that no one should be going about anywhere alone. The cat sighed and shook his head. I don't want you to stop me, to drag me back to my room. But at least you slept some, the squid pointed out. Cat started before smiling sadly. Is that enough for you? For now, yes, but you clearly need someone to talk to and connect with. The squid said confidently. And I humbly volunteer. I'm not sure about that, the cat said with a chuckle. Squid smiled and came out to stand by his friend's side. Perhaps so, but I'm here for you, Steps. I'm not letting you walk alone. Even if there is nothing out there that could be dangerous, it's still safer for you this way. I appreciate you thinking about my safety, the cat said, but Squid laughed. It's important to me and everyone else that you're safe, that you're well protected. Clearly, Barnaby agrees on that. The dog barked, leading the cat to look down to see the dog look happy and confident. He wasn't so concerned about the cat being out on its own like this. It helped him to feel a little more relaxed about Squid's decision, because it was in his best interest. And he knew that Sam would have done the same thing. All right, then let's just do it, the cat said at last. How long do you want to go? Squid asked. As far as I need to, the cat replied matter-of-factly, which seemed to ease the squid's nerves easily and lightly. Not too much. Not by much. Squid nodded at last and grabbed the cat's arm and locked it in his own. Well, then we'll be on our way. You don't have to do that, the cat said sheepishly. Just because I don't have to doesn't mean I can't. Squid reasoned with the cat, making the cat laugh with agreement as they walked. His nerves eased, and the dream he'd been so unsure and scared about soon faded away from memory. It was past now. Couldn't hurt him. We're safe now. Chapter 15. Sam sat quietly in the guest room, his mind wandering as he rummaged through the chest, making sure it was full of things that they might need at any time. It was always good to be prepared, even for an emergency, and after hearing the cat's concerns, he took it upon himself to make sure that some of the chests had at least something, whether a weapon, potions, or even bandages. It would certainly help, if it ever came to be. Plus, he would also try to make sure he carried some on him, just in case. Once he was confident that everything was organized as it should, he stood up and went to straighten out the blankets on the beds, making them ready to use when it was time to go to bed. Since they weren't doing any building or playing yet, he had to find something to do. Maybe he could see if he could put supplies in one of the cat's chests, just to make sure. If he wasn't sleeping, of course. But as he went to go out of the bedroom, the door opened. Go out. The door opened and Squishy walked into the room, looking a little serious. The boy looked at her curiously. What's going on? Well, she said slowly, just got word from William that he saw Stampy and Squid walking out of the house. Plenty bees with them, but I guess he wanted you to know. Do you know why? The boy asked. She shrugged. Maybe they needed time to be with each other, or Stampy needed some fresh air. The boy nodded. Well, so long as he's not by himself and he's with Squid, I'm okay with that. I knew you would be, she said with a small smile. She sighed. But I can tell he's having a hard time. I'm sure once things calm down a bit, it'll get better, the boy said thoughtfully. Besides, it does help for him to know he has someone to talk to. He's done that with you before? The duckling asked. Yeah, the boy replied. But to be honest, so long as he's telling someone what's going on, I'm fine with it. Good, she said softly. I just hate seeing him so scared. I don't know what I can do to help him, to stop anything from happening. Right now, just being there for him is enough, and Squid is doing that part pretty well, the boy said. And so have you, during his recovery. She nodded. His nightmares, though. The ones he had after what Mr. A did to him. They were awful. She shook her head, slowly. Do you think he's because of what he's feeling? Maybe, the boy shrugged. I didn't want to be alone. Those men like to attack when their victims are most vulnerable. The duckling shuddered. Those men can be pretty terrifying. Stop and think about it. That's why it's good to stick together, the boy replied, so we don't give them that chance to attack. How long do you think it'll be before he truly recovers from everything that has happened to him? She added with uncertainty. I don't know, the boy said honestly, but he's stronger than the men give him credit for. Just need to see that. She smiled and nodded. I couldn't agree more with that. They sat there for a long time in silence, unsure of what to do or say to one another. Finally, the boy got up and declared that he was going to put some supplies in one of the cat's chests while they waited. Are you sure they won't be gone long? The duckling asked the boy, following him as he walked out of the guest bedroom and down the stairs towards the cat's room. They shouldn't be long, the boy replied, but I do know that Squid can handle quite a lot after a few techniques I've shown him. She smiled slyly. Stampy teach you those? My aunt taught me some other tricks, so not the ability to fight back to many enemies. Stampy and William taught me that, but yeah, what am I trying to say? No doubt Squid was impressed and learned something, the boy said. I didn't really spend time with my aunt all that much, but over the week she has taught me a few things in case something happened. To be honest, I had to use my head at one time to get out of a tight spot. The boy shuddered as he remembered him and his friend, Brian, being surrounded by Mr. A's men who had threatened to attack them. He'd used his bag as a projectile to make an opening and escape those men. But that was still pretty scary. He was glad he was able to do something like that, being inspired by both Polly and Fizzy in their non-combat, non-violent techniques. I guess the teacher is just as much of a learner as the student, the duckling mused. You'd be right, the boy chuckled. I think that's the best part of doing stuff like that. It's fun to learn something new and useful, rather than studying on useless subjects one will rarely ever use. How many people agree with that? That's good, she replied, as she followed the boy into the cat's bedroom. And the boy opened the chest near the door and put some supplies in, making sure they fit neatly and were well organized and easy to get to. You've really taken the opportunity to prepare for anything. Sam nodded. I have. Yeah. I have. I don't want to risk something happening that we have no way to stop it. And we have no way to stop it. There are some things that are inevitable. So I like to have a plan or something. On something, sorry. I don't blame you, the duckling said as she nodded her head as the boy finished closing the chest as he got to his feet and turned to the yellow duckling. Well, that's a very interesting sentence. Her blue eyes twinkled as she moved her eyes away from the boy. So what are we supposed to do now? The boy asked. She smiled. Maybe we could play a little hide and seek in the house? Do you think it'll be safe enough? The boy asked. She nodded. There are many ways to get around. Besides, not like they'll know our exact hiding spot. The boy smiled sadly. Well, it's better than being out in the open. Maybe I forgot to edit that. Apparently in a later draft, they attacked while they were playing hide and seek. Oh boy. It sure is. She nodded with a chuckle. But I do understand if you don't want to. No, it's fine, the boy said. But if anything does seem off, we'll stop right away. No questions asked. Sounds fair to me, she replied. Should I hide for a sec? If you want to, the boy shrugged. Count down from 10 to give me time to hide then, she said happily, and the boy nodded as he watched her disappear out of the room while he turned and did as she was told. And for the next few hours they played over and over again. It was the most fun the boy had had in quite some time, and he assumed that it would have been much more fun with more players, but this would do just fine. After finding Squishy hiding out in the clubhouse for the tenth time, the boy finally looked out of the window, frowning as he realized that the night was quickly falling. Wouldn't his friends be back by now? What was keeping them up? Has something happened? Couldn't be sure. Is everything all right? The duckling asked, finally noticing the boy's hesitation. I'm not sure, the boy said quietly. It's just... Wouldn't they be back by now? Especially when the monsters will be starting to spawn soon. Maybe they're just having a fun time like always. She reasoned. They could spend hours together without realizing that much time has passed. Especially when they're having fun. I guess we could wait for a little longer, but I still don't like how long it's been and not hearing something from them. The boy pondered nervously. We can always send William to look for them. But I'm sure they're fine. Barnaby is with them. If something was wrong, he would have found us, the duckling said reasonably. Yeah, he would have. If something wasn't preventing him from doing that, the boy said with uncertainty. I'll give them until midnight, and if we still haven't heard something, we'll send William off to look for them, just to make sure everything's going okay. Okay, Squishy said with a nod. So by the rate we're going, I'm sure that everything should be good. Why would the men attack now? Why wouldn't they? The boy asked and returned. They've been attacking YouTubers recently. Something is up. And if they really wanted to, they could target Stumpy. Squishy swallowed and nodded. I see what you mean. The boy nodded as they stood there in silence. Well, I hope that doesn't happen. After all, wouldn't this make it too easy? Probably, the duckling said with a sigh. But that's why we're being so careful. Just in case we're mistaken. Exactly, the boy replied. I do know that I can trust Squid and Barnaby to deal with this if anything does happen. But if not, at least Stampy's in good company. I agree, she said with a sad nod. I wish they'd come home soon. Me too, Squishy. Me too. The boy said, looking out the window one more time before heading back down the stairs into the main house, deciding to wait an hour for the next few hours. That's a confusing sentence, in the hopes that his friend would come back safe and sound, unharmed by any threats that could possibly be out there. It's all about trust now, so all I could do was wait. Chapter 16. Stampy walked down the darkened area of the town that wasn't so well lit up by torches, walking beside Squid, who, to alert and silent, Barnaby had disappeared off somewhere, probably to scout around or check on how the other dogs were doing. For all, Barnaby wasn't one to stay still for long, unless he absolutely had to. The cat looked around the area, feeling unnerved by these shadows that lurked around them. Butterfin was hoping they were just figments of his imagination. Something stirred within him that suggested otherwise. It was getting late. He was getting tired. Perhaps they should get back home. Was he ready to face the unknown of his dreams that could be all sunshine and rainbows and even better cake? And in the next, be full of horrors and fears he'd rather forget? Was he ready for something like that? It looks like you've had enough for today, Stumps. The squid told him, his friend, gently, noticing the cat's silence. You'd be right, the cat replied. I really enjoyed it, so I don't want it to end. All good things have to come to an end, though, the dude replied. Googlies are spawning around here now, and that's probably a safe sign that we should call it a night and get home. What about the nightmares, the reality and uncertainty of what's going on? Our friends who are in trouble. What can I do about that? I just feel so helpless standing here, and all I can really want is just to be happy and free without these fears and uncertainties lurking in my memories and dreams all the time. The cat sighed in frustration and sadness. I know what you mean, Stamps, but it's not safe for us out here at this time of night. Sure, we can handle most of them with our swords or bows, but I don't know about you, but the shadows don't seem too friendly to me. The squid replied verbally. Besides, the others must be worried about us right now. Yeah, you're probably right, the cat said, shaking his head. Do I have to face these things alone? No, Stampy, you don't, Squid assured him. We're here to help you, and be there for you. You're not fighting this difficult battle alone. I'm glad, the cat said in relief, because I'm not sure if I can do this alone anyway, even if I wanted to. Squid smiled and nodded, giving his friend a quick side hug. You're not alone in this, Stampy. Remember that. Stampy. I will. The guy nodded before he added, let's go home. Yeah, Squid said with a nod as they turned the corner, heading back the way they had come, walking down the spruce and birch checkered path as the buildings seemed to grow and shrink, depending on the shadows of the torches and the moon that were being cast. It looked slightly creepy, and the cat was more than happy to get home. It was a far safer and happier place. Not the dark eeriness of the night, even with the growing torches, still spooked him to see the shadows that lurked in the night. My head was ringing a little bit. I'm okay. That's a normal thing with what I have. But once they got to a brighter part of the town, he grew more at ease. The shadows were less prominent, less frightening, which meant they were nearing his house. And he still had yet to see a monster come across them, try to get to them. Not that they wouldn't be able to Oh, hi, Squishy. Handle it. He knew that they could. He just wished that it could get home faster. However, as they continued, the cat felt a sensation like a trickle of ice, cold water going up and down his spine. It hit him. It only grew as the feeling of someone watching him increased. It grew so much that he stopped walking, sure of what to do. Is there something wrong? Squid asked his friend quietly, noticing him stop in his tracks. Someone's watching us, the cat whispered, too afraid to say it any louder. I'm sure of it. Here, Squid said, as he pulled the cat around the corner, pushed him into a shadowed area. Hide here until I return. I'll check it out. By yourself? The cat asked with uncertainty. It won't be far, Squid promised. Just don't move. Promise me? I promise, the cat nodded. Just be careful. Don't worry about me, Stamps. I got this under control, Squid replied with full confidence. I want to believe you, the cat said. But what if it's serious or... If I don't come back in 5 minutes, get to the house as soon as you can. Got it? Squid said. If you can't, then hide. Go ahead, the cat insisted. Squid put a hand on the cat's shoulder. Do you trust me? Yes, the cat said nervously. I do trust you, but I just wish I could have... I'm here to protect you, Stampy. That's my first priority. My safety comes second. That's not something I'm going to change. The cat shook his head. Please be careful. I will, Cedar said honestly. I'll be back before you know it. I just need to make sure it's safe. The cat nodded. Okay. He watched as the squid dashed away, feeling the uneasiness grow within him as he ducked further into his shadows, waiting impatiently for his friend. A minute passed, then another, yet the squid had not returned. Would that normally have worried the cat so much if it was so dark out? It was spooky. He hated how alone he felt, how vulnerable he was. He hated just how small he felt compared to everything else. How could he stand a chance if he was attacked? Sure, he had his sword and his bow and arrows, but what were they against those men who were far stronger and used to overpowering and overwhelming their victims? It was just a cat after all. What was he to them? How could he be so sure anyone was even out there? Should he just go back to the house? Somewhere safer than this awful and dark place? Was it anywhere safe for him anymore? Suddenly, the cat heard a sound that sounded like movement. The cat touched, unsure whether or not it was a friend or foe. Thank you, Grammarly. You messed that up too. Was it Squid coming back to meet him? Barnaby coming to check on him with him? Wow. Or something else. Hello? Who's there? The cat asked, feeling how shaky his voice was. His voice echoed in the empty silence. The sound stopped. There was more silence. It was unbearable. The cat climbed out of his hiding spot quietly as he continued to call out, Squid? Is that you? Barnaby? Anyone? He was only met with silence as he looked around the area, the uneasiness unrelenting as he heard another sound before it grew louder. He turned only to see nothing. Was it just a monster taunting him? A mere goose trying to trick him into feeling so scared that he actually should be. Oh. The cat extended his overpowered sword, letting the diamond blade glow dimly in the torchlight. He called out again. Silence was unmistakable, nothing like the way his sword was usually. Even when his helpers couldn't speak, it was still pretty noisy, one way or another. Unless his voice usually made up of all the silence. But here he was, standing in pure silence, wondering if his friends were playing a joke on him. So then it wasn't funny. Who's there? The cat demanded. It was a challenge, but there was no response. No sound whatsoever. But as the cat listened carefully, he still could feel the eerie sense of being observed growing. Should he call out to Squid? How was he handling it? Why did it seem like this was what whoever this was had wanted all along? Because it was whoever... Because it was. But before the cat could say or do anything more, he heard the sharp sound of what sounded like breaking glass. But he knew it wasn't glass. Object chattered behind him. He tensed as he made the turn, but before he could do so, he was grabbed from behind. The cat cried out in fear. His hand covered his mouth, and another arm wrapped around his middle, pinning him to whoever had grabbed him. He felt his sword fall from his grip. He struggled against his captor, wanting so desperately to cry for help that he was dragged past several buildings, down the path, until they arrived in a dark area that looked oddly familiar. Wow, was his captor taking him to the fancy circle park? However, before he could think more, he was tossed to the ground as someone loomed over him. The cat turned to see a tall, broad-shouldered man, a familiar figure with dark eyes, full of cold and hatred and fury and rage. He knew those eyes. He knew the slight smile on the man's face. Gerald? The cat asked in horror, scrambling back as the man approached him. How had this man gotten to him? Where had he been all this time? Why was he here now? And why was he looking at him like this? Glad to see me, cat? The man mused darkly, as he reached down and grabbed for the cat again. Stampy scrambled back again, trying to run from the man. He didn't go far before the man tackled him to the ground, pinning him to the damp grass of the park. The darkness looked eerie and dark. Wow. And surprisingly, there were no googlies to be seen. I don't think you'll be getting away from me this time, cat, the man sneered as he turned the cat to his back so that he could face him. The cat swallowed his fear, wanting to think about anything that could get help to him. What could he do? Call for help? How would Squid be able to find him? Would it be anyone else? Were they still too busy trying to make sure he was safe, not realize he was in trouble right now? Why? How? The cat tried, but failed. Just seeing the man caused him to feel nervous. What was this man planning for him? What did he want? Was he really going to get what the man believed he deserved? Thought I forgot about you, didn't you? You believed that I wouldn't be able to get to you with your friends watching your every move, making sure you're well protected, didn't you? You didn't think I could outsmart them and maneuver their futile attempts to protect you. The fact that your other 3 friends have returned to their worlds gave me a good opportunity to get to you. And I can't wait to finish where they started. You can't, the cat said, shaking his head slowly, his mind racing as he thought of distracting the man. He needed to outsmart him, to outmaneuver him, just as the man claimed he'd done with the others. He was stronger than the man thought he was, braver. He wanted to show he wasn't afraid of this man anymore, so he wasn't completely sure that was true on the outside. I don't think you understand, cat, just how much I wanted to finish you off. To see a look of horror and despair on your face as I finally did what my leader ordered me to do. You should have tried. You should have died twice now. Mr. A tried to get rid of you. But this time, there's destroying you. How can you be so sure? The cat asked, raising an eyebrow. He took a deep breath, calm, reassuring breath. Reminding himself, he still had hope. If he could just get word that he was in trouble. The man looked at him curiously, cocking his head as he did so. How do you mean by that? Just because you have me doesn't mean you automatically win, the cat said, before using both of his feet to throw the man off him, sending him about 20 feet away as he got to his feet and began running towards the town, leaving the park as he heard Gerald pursuing him. The cat ran, afraid to look back behind him. As he ran around a corner, calling for help as loudly as he could. However, his quick escape was cut short, when this man suddenly appeared behind him and tackled him to the ground again. The cat cried out in fear as he hit the ground, groaning as the man pulled him up, pinned him to one of the walls of one of his builds, forcing him to look up at the man's furious eyes. You'll regret that, cat. just as you will regret scarring me and making me look like a fool." The man sneered, his scar more evident now that the cat had a closer look at him. "You were threatening one of my friends. You deserved it," the cat said bitterly, remembering the one act of bravery that had caused him to show the man that he was braver, stronger, willing to fight to stop the man from hurting one of his friends. The man leaned closer, and the cat was forced to press himself against the wall, shuddering as he felt the man's gaze fixed on him. "You think you know what's right and wrong, don't you? You're a traitor to the cause, enemy in your eyes, and yet you want people to see you as an innocent, perfect feline that you clearly aren't. You're nothing. And you, Mr. Hay, wanted to ensure you were elimination. That's why I'm here, to make sure it does not fail. That he does not fail." The cat swallowed, feeling the man's eyes move slightly as he went to throw the cat to the ground. Stamping groaned as he tried to sit up, only to get kicked back to the ground. The man loomed over him, extending an iron sword. "You really think you know what it means to be a YouTuber, don't you? Do you? What it means to have friends who can be with you one moment and leave you in the dust the next. You call for help, and yet, where are your friends? So-called protectors. Don't underestimate my friends," the cat said with gritted teeth as he tried to sit up again, only to get the same treatment as he looked up to see the man loomed over him. "Well," the sword aimed in his direction. "You're so gullible, aren't you? You don't want to give up hope on your friends, but I haven't judged that it's too late for you. To see the surprise in your friends' faces when they realize just what I've done will be priceless." The man smiled wide. "That would be the best thing to see, cat. You see." The cat shook its head as he tried to squirm away from the man, but only gasped when the man put the sword to his throat, forcing him to stop his track. "Please, you don't understand." "I do understand, cat," the man said with a sneer. "I know what it's like to be betrayed by the very people you're trying to protect, who throw you aside the moment they don't need you." The man smiled darkly as he lifted the cat's chin with the blade, forcing him to look up at him. "I know what it means to watch as everything crumbles that you once knew to the ground. All because of a group of people known as YouTubers. You think you're the good guy, the innocent one. What if the innocent one's affected by your kind? Don't they get any justice? What of the people who are killed or imprisoned because of your kind? Don't they get a say? And what of those who watched as someone they cared about perished before their very eyes because of your kind, who claim to be so innocent? Is that fair, cat? Truly fair to assume your innocence when your kind have destroyed millions of lives just to get their way?" The cat said nothing, too emotionally frightened to speak, too unsure of whether or not he should or could. The words the man expressed were both hard to take, and yet they were from a part of the man. The pain he suffered, the damage that was caused to the cat's own kind. "That was the past," the cat said softly, careful not to move too much. "We're not like that anymore. We can change." The man shook his head. "Your kind will never change their crooked ways, and you're just like them, which means you deserve to die, just like the rest of them. Deserve to get the fate that so many are crying out for, the justice that so many demand. You won't be missed, cat. You'll just be another YouTuber, wasted away and forgotten. Nothing more than ashes and dust. Best forgotten." No. I'm coughing. The way I'm sitting is not ideal. The cat said, swallowing as the man pinned the blade closer. The cat shuddered in fear. But before the man could cut the blade into his skin, the man raised it, just again, so it was above the cat. It looked terrifying, and the blade gleamed in the torchlight. A shadow cast upon him, sending chills up and down his spine. "Any last words, cat?" the man sneered darkly, as he gripped the blade tighter, ready to thrust it down to finish him off. Tears filled the cat's eyes as he struggled to see how he could get out of this mess. He was cornered, trapped. He felt alone. Where was his friends when he needed them the most? Was Gerald right? Was he trying to drag him back down into a very scary place? A place he didn't want to be? Was this going to be how it ended? It couldn't be. But he could see the blade, see the man. He knew that something needed to be done, but what? Was it already too late? Truly have anything to say? The cat said, "You truly have nothing to say, cat?" The man asked, raising an eyebrow. "Do you want me to send a message to your friends? Should I tell them about this moment?" The cat said nothing, looking around for any way to escape or use something to defend himself. He had lost his sword, and he didn't have time to take out his bow. He truly was defenseless, helpless, just like the men thought he was. He'd only made things worse. He'd failed. "I'll give you one last chance, cat," the man replied coldly. But when the cat said nothing, the man sighed and said, Very well then. Watch me as I finish you off as slowly and painfully as I can." Wow, brutal. The cat screamed as the blade fell towards him, and he covered his face with his paws, waiting for the blow that would end him. But suddenly, there was a shout from behind him, as someone lunged and tackled the man. The cat could hear the sword fall to the ground beside him, as the man Eddie made to sit up and see who had rescued him. At the last possible moment, the cat watched as the two figures fought on the ground, struggling to get the upper hand, as he could hear a dagger being extended. He spotted the sword beside him, trying to decide whether or not he should help. But his blood went cold when he heard a grunt, something hit his bark. Cat's eyes widened as he watched Gerald push the body aside, wiping the blood off the dagger as he shook his head. The cat recognized the form. No. It's a pity they couldn't get to see my destiny and me destroy you, the man said with his mock emotion. But no one gets in my way. Not even that pathetic friend of a squid you have there. The cat shook his head with both shock and fear as the man came towards him. Should he try to run? Could he ever outrun this man? He had used 2 ender pearls to get to the cat. Besides, he didn't want to leave his friend alone with that man. Now, where were we? The man mused as the cat scrambled against the wall as he loomed over his victim. Yes, I was about to kill you. You can't. The cat said weakly, tears starting to fall down his face. I can't, the man said probably darkly. The best thing is, I could eliminate you to raise his bow. Mr. A will certainly be pleased. No, the cat whimpered softly as he heard a pained groan from his friend. His only hope of rescue was now dying right before his very eyes, yet he couldn't do anything about it. Say goodbye to and everyone you know, or thought you knew, demanded Goldblade, raising his blade again. She won't get another chance. The cat screamed again as the dagger hurtled towards him. As he closed his eyes, before the blade could come to contact with him, someone jumped from the roof of the building above, tackling the man. Deppy opened his eyes and saw a beaver with full diamond armor standing between him and a disarmed Gerald. The man stepped back as the beaver pursued him, a look of rage in his eyes. Where had he come from? Had he heard the cat's cry for help, just as Squid had? Oh, and there goes the other ear. But before he could think about his friend, he heard Gerald speak to him one more time. And the cat looked as at the cold dark eyes in his own. This is an overstep, big cat. I'll find you. Even if it means if I have to use your pathetic friends to do it. No one will be safe, cat. Not you, not your friends. Your kind will regret ever existing. We're done with you. William lunged at the man as Gerald took off. I figured he did so. The cat was stunned, terrified by what the man had said. He knew that Nettie and the others had gone back home. He knew Mr. A had at least 2 of his friends captive. No one was safe. He couldn't escape the fate forever. His mind struggled to wrap his mind around it, thinking of his friends as well, as how close he'd been to losing his own life. And yet, his friends were in danger. And the man went after them and hurt them? Before he could ponder any more, he heard a groan in the squid's direction. The cat snapped back into reality as he scrambled over to check on his friend. Squid? The cat asked in a small voice, too scared to speak any louder, too shaken by everything that had happened. The cat helped the squid onto his back, horrified by the wound on his friend's chest. Didn't look good. Squid needed help. But what could he do? Squid coughed as he opened his eyes. He looked up at the cat, who was shaking in fear and desperation. He didn't know what he could do. He was too frightened as the squid smelled suddenly. You're okay. Squid managed in a rasp. Tears sprung in the cat's eyes again. No, I'm not okay. You're not okay. You need help. You're hurt, the cat insisted, feeling weak and dizzy by all the thoughts crashing against his mind. This couldn't be happening. His worst fear couldn't be coming true. He couldn't believe it, and yet his friend was injured at a point where he could die. He didn't hurt you, did he? The YouTuber asked, coughing after he said it. The cat put his arm around his friend to help steady him as he felt himself, his arms around, shaking, fear, despair. This couldn't be happening. It was just a dream, a horrible, no good dream. There was no other way. I knew it was real. All of this was real. He heard you, the cat said cynically, ignoring the squid's question. You need help. The squid shook his head slowly. I think it's too late for me, Sam. But it isn't too late for you. No, don't say that, the cat insisted. You're going to be okay. Just hang on, please. Squid coughed again as he struggled to take a deep breath. They won't win, Stabs. No matter what happens, promise me. Promise me you won't give up. Squid, please. You need medicine. You need medical help. Please. Hold on, please. I need you. The cat begged before he was interrupted by the sound of someone approaching. He looked up to see William coming over, a look of concern on his face. William, get help. Squid's hurt and he needs help immediately. The beaver hesitated, looking around the area nervously. But the cat insisted. Please, I'll be fine here, if you hurry. Squid nodded as he turned and disappeared from sight, hope filling the cat as he turned to face his friend. Don't worry, you'll be okay. Help is on the way. I don't think it'll come in time, Squid said, coughing weakly as he said it. Please don't say that. Please don't give up. Just hold on, Squid. Hold on. Squid shook his head, pain evident in his eyes. I haven't given up on you, Stabs. But please, promise me you'll keep going after I'm gone. No, you're not going anywhere, Squid. Please. You have to stay. I can't lose you. The cat sobbed, hating how calm his friend was, as if he had accepted his fate. My work here is done. I protected you with my life, the squid said weakly. Now promise me you won't give up hope. Those men will win. Promise me that. Cat shook his head slowly, too emotional to say a word. Seeing his friend in so much pain hurt him more than he was willing to admit. He wanted to stop his friend's pain, wanted to take it away, but he was so helpless, too scared. I'm sorry, the cat gasped through tears. I'm so sorry. You're safe, Squid said falsely. That's what matters more. That's what's more important to me. What about you? The cat said, before trailing off, as tears fell from his face. I'll be fine. So will you? Squid replied. Don't give up, Stamps. Promise me you won't. I won't, the cat said, his voice shaking. Please don't go, Squid. Please. Take care, Stamps. Don't forget us. He coughed before lowering his head. Closing his eyes, the cat watched as Labor's breathing slowed. His life was quickly draining from his friend's face. Squid? The cat asked quietly, wondering if he should try to shake his friend awake. Squid, please. Please. But the cat watched in dismay and horror as the tuber exploded into dust, falling to the ground slowly, like falling snowflakes. Tears streamed down the cat's face as he sat there, looking at the spot where his friend used to be. No, the cat said softly, shaking his head in disbelief. Grief. No. However, no matter how much he wanted his friend back, he knew one thing for sure. Squid was gone. Gerald had killed him. The man had taken his friend. This time, he would never come back. He was helpless to do anything to stop it. His thought alone crushed him into despair. Neither Mr. A or Gerald could bring him into. His pain was nothing compared to what he had suffered before, and he hated it. The cat sat there on his knees for what felt like a long time, tears falling down his face. The replay of what had happened continued to go through his mind like a broken record. How could he ever get through this? How could he ever face the men the same way again? They killed Squid, and he would never see him again. It was a horrible feeling, horrible reality he wanted nothing to do with, but he had no choice. This was his reality now. There was no going back. There was no going back. Oh, poor Stampy. Chapter 17. Sam paced around the cat's bedroom, while Squishy sat on his bed, both of them eagerly waiting for word from William, or to see their friends. It had been long past midnight, and the boy was starting to get worried. He didn't want to think about all the possibilities of how things could go wrong. What if everything was just fine and he was overreacting? But he really didn't want to take chances, especially if someone was in danger. Sam? She said after the boy paused from his bathing and looked out the window for the 100th time. Yeah? The boy asked, looking over to her in her direction. Are you okay? She asked. What do you think? The boy asked. It's been about 30 minutes since we sent William after them, and we haven't heard back. Maybe they're just taking precautions, you know? So definitely, in case there is something not so friendly out there. The boy swallowed and nodded. Still don't like this. All of this silence is making me nervous. I can see that, she replied simply. But I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt. Since the boy swallowed. I just wish I knew what was going on. Jacqueline nodded, opening her mouth to say something, but then closing it again, letting the silence draw on. But their little discussion was interrupted by a loud and determined bark. Roof. The boy turned to see Barnaby looking up at him, looking determined and firm. The dog didn't wag his tail as the boy knelt down. Is everything all right, boy? The boy asked the dog, only to get a low growl from the dog. Clearly, by the tone of it, something wasn't right. Should we try to follow him? Squishy asked. Or wait for William? I don't know, the boy said as he stood up, shaking his head. Do you know where they are, Barnaby? The dog whined and went over to the door. his tail between his legs as he went over to it, pushed it open with a paw. Oh. The boy looked over at the duckling, who stood up and nodded. Without a word, they followed the dog out of the bedroom and outside, as the dog led them in a direction. The boy looked around the dark area, holding a sword out in his hand in case there was any danger. Squishy had done the same, looking confident as she did so. As they traveled, the boy noticed a familiar figure up ahead, running towards him. The boy ran to catch up to a beaver in full diamond armor, who looked both nervous and determined. "William!" the boy asked and hit the beaver. William shook his head and beckoned them to follow as he ran back the way he had come. The boy didn't think twice as he kept up with the beaver. Barnaby and Squishy right behind them. They did so. But as they rounded another corner, the beaver suddenly stopped in its tracks, looking down a path that would lead to the Fancy Circle Park. The boy looked to see a familiar figure on his knees alone. The boy approached, noting that his friend was crying. Why was he alone? Where was Squid? Stampy? The boy asked softly, not wanting to startle the cat. The cat looked up at him, a look of pure grief on his face, tears falling down his face. The boy looked into the saddest green eyes he'd ever seen. Sam, the cat said, choking up the name as he shook his head, wiping tears from his eyes as the boy knelt down beside him. What happened? Where's Squid? The boy asked. The cat shook his head again, wiping away more tears from his eyes. He took a deep breath. He's gone. Gerald, he killed him. He killed Squid. What? How? The boy asked, seeing just how hard it was for his friend. He hated seeing him in so much pain and dismay. Squid tried to save him, Kid said quietly. Gerald got to me when my friend went to check on something. I tried to get away, but the man was too strong, too powerful. No, the boy said in horror. Where's the man now? William chased him off, the cat said, shaking his head. Not before the man threatened me. He knows where my friends are. He won't stop until he gets to me, even if he has to get to my friends to do it. I'm so sorry, Stampy, the boy said softly, putting an arm around the cat's shoulders. The cat swallowed and shook his head, but didn't pull away from the boy. I shouldn't have gotten out of my hiding spot. If I just stayed, maybe. Don't blame yourself for what happened, the duckling said softly, going over to sit by her friend as well. What happened wasn't your fault. But Squid, the cat said weakly. Gerald would have forgotten to you somehow, no matter what you did, the boy replied. Squid was only doing what he knew he had to do, protecting you. The cat sighed, wiping a tear from his eyes. I just can't believe he's gone. Really gone. The boy watched as the cat shook his head again and leaned against the boy, sobbing softly as he struggled against the loss of his friend. It was one thing to be tortured, something different, watching his friend die right before one very eyes. I'm sure he's glad you're okay, Squishy told her friend softly, rubbing the cat's his back gently as he cried in despair. We won't let his death be for nothing, Zappy. He would have wanted us to keep going, no matter what. How can I? The cat said weakly, too exhausted to speak above a whisper. He's gone. Those men won. I don't know if I can go on. We need you, Stampy, she said softly. Your friends need you. You don't need to be strong right now. We're here for you. But you can't let those men win. Don't let them take everything from you. They haven't won yet. Not unless you let them. The cat swallowed as he looked over at the duckling. His sounds quieting as he looked at her. The gaze between them seemed to last an eternity as unspoken words passed between them. I don't want to lose anyone else, the cat said at last, pulling himself away from the boy. I couldn't stop them, and Gerald was pretty confident in saying that I wouldn't be able to stop him from turning my friends. Daisy, Lizzie, Nettie, We can warn Eddie, Stampy. Quickly, she reminded him. Those men won't win. We'll find the others. You'll see. We can do something, and we will. You sure? The cat asked with uncertainty. So Squid would have wondered, she replied, taking her friend's paw and squeezing it. It's what he was fighting for. You're far more a hero than those men think you are. You can do it. We can do it together. The cat nodded, wiping a tear from his eyes. I miss him, though. We all will, she said gently. But he will be remembered as a hero, just as you will be. Don't forget what he did today, Stampy. For you, so many others. What we're willing to do for you in a heartbeat. She smiled sadly. This isn't the end, Stampy. Only the beginning. The cat nodded, looking over at the boy, who stood there, quietly listening. Thank you, both of you. I can't imagine where I'd be without you guys, especially Squid. We won't forget him, the boy told him softly, and we'll remember him as we fight for what's right, no matter what. That isn't the last the men will see of us. This isn't the last the men will see of us. I just wish Squid could see this, the cat replied quietly. Perhaps he does. Duckling shrugged. I'm sure he'd be proud of you, Stampy. The cat nodded. Yeah. The boy nodded as he looked over at William and Barnaby, who both looked anxious standing there. William looked both sad and uncomfortable, while Barnaby looked like he would cuddle up next to the cat. But what does it do? We should get back to the house, the boy replied. I'll try to get in touch with Nettie and let her know what happened. And to be on the lookout. Thank you, Sam, the cat said sincerely, as the boy helped him up. Squishy stood right beside them. As they began to walk back, the boy's thoughts trying to connect what happened next. Sure, they had lost one of their friends, but that didn't mean that the fight was over. It wasn't. Still, the boy couldn't help but wonder if the cat was still struggling. Would be struggling for a while due to this loss. After all, Squid was one of his closest friends. Perhaps the man had known that. But the boy would make sure that he would protect anyone he could if it ever arose. He knew that things would be fine. It might take a while to get there. But he would fight for the right thing. Protect his friends. Be there for them when they needed him to be. It was worth it. For Squid, for everyone, who had to risk their lives to protect those they cared about. It was what he would do. Always done. And continue to do. No matter what happened. Chapter 18. The X-ray glitch will probably break. Wasn't that thing? Unfortunately. It'll probably get patched up anyway, so you try, but there probably is one way to fix it. It's just very too. There is a way, but it's not by a glitch. Just gotta do something else instead. Be unfortunate. Chapter 18 then? Good luck with that. Stampy followed his friends as they entered his house. The silence around them was thick and heavy, and the cat didn't mind that at all. In fact, it gave him a chance to think. But he couldn't help but notice the nervous expressions on the boy, the duckling, and William. The beaver was still in his diamond armor, probably until he knew for sure that the cat was safe. And the cat knew that the time was of the essence, and Sam needed to get in touch with his sister in time. Just thinking about the threat Gerald had told them him before running off, sent shivers up and down his spine. It was a perfect recipe for nightmares, and he was already tired of having those in the past couple days. Would he ever be able to rest? Yeah, that would probably be the best way to do it. Glass. It's like you can have a piston revealing it for a certain amount of time before closing again. I dropped my iPad on my face. Ouch. Like, yeah, glass would probably work. I'm interested to see what Danny would do with Lovelier Funland when that comes around. Pretty sure it could be about the glass. It's possible. I'd really like to see that. But that's gonna have to wait a while. Because, yeah, it's only just started and... No. Just started. Finished the flop game. And that's... means there's still a long way to go. It's got a long way to go. Oh yeah. There are some games like that I would be interested to see what they do with. And if they fix it. Hi, it's an idea. Glass would be the best way to fix it. Yeah. And redstone. Whew. Anyway. Cat swallowed and he tried not to think of those thoughts. As they arrived to his room, William stopped by the door to stand guard. The cat managed a small smile of gratitude to the beaver before walking inside with his other two friends and sitting down in his bed. Sure you'll be okay down here, Steppy? Sam asked, the cat hesitating before climbing up the room of no equipment. I'll be fine, the cat told him quietly, feeling the exhaustion crash against him. But is it getting late for you? I'll go to bed soon, the boy promised. Contacting your sister is more important right now. Cat smiled and nodded, feeling a little relieved by the boy's statement. Not only did he care about making sure he was safe, but also wanted to make sure his friends were safe as well. It was nice to know that he wanted to make sure everyone was okay, even if it was to tell Nettie what had happened toward her. Good luck, Sam, Squishy said cheerfully, as the boy went up to the hidden room behind the painting. The duckling then looked over at the cat. You look exhausted. So do you, the cat pointed out. She smiled sadly. I know, but I'm not going to go to the guest room tonight. You leave me here. The cat nodded. I'm not sure I'll be able to sleep after what happened. You're scared of the nightmares? She asked curiously. Yeah, the cat replied. She said, I know they'll come tonight. I'll be here with you every night if you want, she said gently, taking the cat's paw around. You're not going to be alone until you feel better. I don't know if I ever will, the cat sighed. The duckling smiled. You don't really know that for sure, Stampy. The cat managed to chuckle in a cheery mood. He had been testing out a long sigh, thinking about all the things that he'd been through that day. He spent the whole day with Quid, not knowing that it would end so drastically. Things seemed to be falling apart, and he was afraid to lose someone else close to him, someone he cared about. You're thinking of him, aren't you? She said, nodding accusingly. The cat nodded slowly. How can I not think about him? He's one of my best friends. She nodded, squeezing the cat's paw gently. He was an amazing squid, wasn't he? Yeah, the cat said. He was a great friend, too. For all of us. She smiled sadly. At least you won't forget him. None of us will. The cat nodded, trying to block the thought that loomed in his subconscious, thought that threatened everything, a thought he feared could come true. At least we have so many good memories of him to remember him. I agree, she nodded. You really should get some sleep. Your eyes are growing heavy. They are? The cat asked, not realizing it until he let out a yawn. She smiled and asked if she could help him into bed. No, I can do it. He crawled back into bed as the duckling pulled the covers over him, and the cat could feel the soft, warm protection from the chill that it brought. Okay. He felt safe, happy, and content. Would you like me to sing to you? The duckling asked. I don't mind, the cat replied. I don't want to be alone. I'll be here the whole night. Don't worry, she said gently, rubbing his back gently. She began to hum to herself softly. The cat closed his eyes, letting the sleep come, not afraid of the nightmares or the horrors that could come next. Just hoped that it would be worth it for Squid and for all the others that had come before them, those who'd risked their lives to give others a chance to live, who died to save others, like Sam's mother had done, like Squid had done, perhaps others he didn't even know about. But he wouldn't forget them. At least his friends would let him forget them. That made the cat smile, because their memory would live on, no matter what Mr. A and his men tried to do. The cat woke up later in the morning than he had expected. The sun shining at its highest peak, as he climbed out of bed, stretching as he looked around his room. Sure enough, Squishy was sitting in a chair by his bed, watching him. She had been there the whole night, as she had promised. How are you feeling? Duckling asked the cat. Better than usual, the cat sighed. At least I slept well enough. You certainly did, she said with a small grin. You needed it. Yeah, the cat smiled, nodding as he looked around the room. What did I miss? The duckling didn't say anything at first, as if trying to think of the best way to say it. Well, Sam got in touch with Nettie and told her that what happened and to be a little more careful. We also want to make sure everything looks secure around here, to ensure that the house is well protected. That's good, the cat replied. So Nettie's okay? Any word about the others? She's safe, the duckling said. She swallowed nervously as she added, No word about Stacy or Lizzie, though, sadly. The cat closed his eyes and took a deep breath. I hope those men aren't doing anything to them, especially not Charles. Me too, Stampy, the duckling agreed softly. I hope someone from the cause does find them. Even better than Dan does. The cat smiled. I knew Dan wouldn't leave them in danger, no matter what. Unlike some people who could care less when it comes to their safety or agenda. She shook her head sadly. We'll find them, Stampy. Don't worry. Try not to, the cat promised. But you know me. I do, she said with a smile. The cat returned the smile before turning to find a cage sitting in the spot where it always had been. He smiled as he walked over to it. Would you say this is breakfast or brunch? The duckling chuckled, shaking her head. It's still a part of your wake-up routine, Stampy, whether it's morning or afternoon. The cat laughed as he ate the cake, eating each bite, remembering the many times he had done it before. It never did get old, and it was the best part of his wake-up routine. After he was finished, the duckling stood up and walked over to the door. Come on, let's go. What to? The cat asked. Sam's waiting for us at the clubhouse, the duckling replied. I have a feeling we need to improve our methods of keeping you safe. Not just in your bedroom. Sam does all right as a lookout, the cat shrugged. But the helpers have helped him out, taking turns being on lookout. True, but we need to find a way to call for help. Only the three of us and the helpers would understand. So if something does happen, we know about it. The cat nodded, remembering his attempts to call for help that almost caused his untimely death. But it resulted in him losing one of his friends. Was it really worth the risk? You don't seem so sure to me, the duckling mused with a smile. It's nothing at all, right? It isn't just luck, the cat said. Right, duckling agreed. Sam has asked the helpers to join us as well. I'm sure Fizzy and Polly are already there. William's waiting outside for us. Has he been there the whole night? The cat asked with surprise. Yep, the duckling nodded. He's pretty overprotective of you at the moment. I guess he'll relax once he knows the plan has been organized. The cat smiled and nodded. Yeah, I'm sure he will, but I don't blame him. After all, he stopped the man from hurting me. Gerald has never been in his good side, Especially not after the man took me out of my world about a month ago. Exactly, she said with a nod. I don't think we want to keep our friends waiting anymore. Then we have to. Wouldn't you agree? Yeah, indeed. The cat agreed as he walked out of the door behind Squishy. Sure enough, William followed shortly behind, still in his diamond armor, alert and determined. Didn't surprise the cat in the slightest. So he knew there weren't any dangers nearby. The beaver didn't want to take any chances. It didn't take long before they arrived at the clubhouse, climbing the stairs as they reached the top. The cat looked around, finding the boy and the other two helpers waiting expectantly at a table. The cat and duckling went over to sit down. William stood nearby, not too far away, but close enough to jump into action in case something happened and he needed to act. Someone had to do it. Clearly the beaver was a confident volunteer. How are you feeling, Stampy? The boy asked the cat. For someone who lost the clothes. I jumped, bringing the cat back to reality. They looked over at the boy. I'm doing better, the cat said with a shrug. Well, normal for someone who lost a close friend. Sam nodded, his eyes filling with understanding. As he looked over at the duckling, Oscaring heard the same thing. I'm good, the duckling replied. How about you? I'm alright, the boy said with a shrug. But I think you both know why we're here. Of course, I just told Stampy like 5 minutes ago, the duckling said with a smile. Do you guys have any ideas of what you're planning to do? The cat asked. Billy gave me one idea, the boy said with a smile. But I guess he wants me to tell you to see whether or not it'll work. Smithy, as long as it does what it needs to do, it doesn't matter how strange it is. The kid laughed. She agreed on the elephant's face. I know that much. Okay, the boy said. Well, it could be used against us, men figured it out, but use of fireworks is a great way to signal help. We can use colors and patterns as means of different things. To mean different things. That sounds cool, Squishy said with a nod. And it doesn't matter if someone's being attacked and using them, since the men are already there. Yep, the boy said. Besides, the men will just assume it's Fizzy most of the time. Because if you one usually does that. The kid chuckled. That's an excellent idea, Fizzy. Fizzy beamed as he stood up, looking from his chair, unable to stay still for long. Hey, I got to. It's true. Well, at least the signal is started, Duckling said. But what? But that means we have to have the men don't take them from us. They try to hide them in a place they don't expect, the boy said with a smirk. But what if someone comes through the portal and ends up getting ambushed? The cat asked. Thought finally hitting him. We have a dispenser that they can get to and use, the boy said quickly. And the cat noticed him glance at the reindeer as he did it. The smile on her face seemed to convey that it was her idea. It had been her idea. That's done. That's good, the cat said in relief. Just talking about this already makes everything feel safer. The cat Sam chuckled. Well then, we should probably work on that what means what and make it simple so even you can remember. The cat laughed. Yeah, that would be nice. They talked like this for a long time, getting everything together as they connected ideas and created a plan in case the unthinkable happened. They tried to get to everything they possibly could, and the cat was glad his friends were doing this. It just showed just how much planning was being put into all of this, and it was the best thing he had ever seen in a long time. And even though Squid couldn't be there to see it, he knew that his friend would have been proud of what they'd done. Proud of the boy for taking it into his own hands to make sure everyone was happy and safe. Proud to know that they were still going. Cat wouldn't break the promise he'd made to his friend. It's probably why Squid had demanded to make that promise in the first place. So he had no choice but to keep it. He was still the slippery and sneaky Squid he'd always been, even after his untimely death. Now the kid didn't want to lose. Oh. Now, one more chapter. One more chapter will do, and it will end for today, because, yeah, think it'll be a good spot to end at chapter 19. Why not? Chapter 19. And then maybe I can take a few questions if anyone has them. Oops. A few days had passed after the boy and his friends had both created a plan to ensure their safety and set it up so that it would work out. The boy could find himself sitting next to Benji. The dog that the cat decided to join them today, watching his two YouTuber friends and Polly working on the build. In this whole series, I've been able to name each of the 10 dogs in the overall series. Made sure, I don't know how I did it. I just, named every single dog overall in 4 books. Every single dog that's alive and that we know of. That is still alive. Yeah. It didn't look too complex, but it also wasn't plain either. And the boy enjoyed watching it all being created from the ground up. It was another clear and beautiful day, a perfect day for building and having fun. His friends had worked for hours on this little project, taking all the time and energy that they could to make it look incredible. Sam looked away from the building and his friends as they looked around the area, keeping an alert eye on anything that could possibly be a threat or a clue about what the men could be doing. After Gerald's sudden attack, he wanted to be more careful. He knew the risks that it would take to know that what the man was capable of. I'm scrambling up my words here. And yet, he needed to be prepared in case someone needed his help. Something that they all could do to help. As the boy looked around the empty path that stretched from either side of him, he could hear his friends faintly laughing. Laughing? Well, my English today. Thank you, Retainer. Well, luckily I have 2 more months before I don't need this during the day. I still need it at night. I've got a couple more months. He could guess they were about 1 or 2 hours from being finished with the build. The boy looked up at the sky to the morning, slowly but surely drew into the afternoon. As the morning slowly but surely turned into the afternoon. It was a quiet and calm day, and the boy couldn't help but enjoy it. The eyes were jumping. Oh, I'm missing words. After all, there wasn't much he could do other than standing around as a lookout for his friends. But as he stood there, he heard a faint whine from beside him. Sam looked down and noticed Benji looking a little anxious for some reason. His curiosity piqued as he knelt down to the dog. Do you smell something, Benji? I'm just how do you spell his name? It's Benji. I know different spellings of the name. I'm Benji. That's how you spell it. I googled it up on the wiki just to make sure I spelled it right. Because, I gotta make sure I spell it right. The dog looked up at The dog looked up at the boy and whined again, wagging his tail slowly as he looked over in a certain direction, to the boy's right. The boy looked over his shoulder, not seeing anything at first, but as his mind drifted back to when another one of the cat's dogs had alerted him that something was wrong. No, just because he didn't see anything, something wasn't going on. All of a sudden, he noticed a figure running around the corner and towards them. The boy stood up and recognized Fizzy coming towards him. Eyes of urgency and alertness. Serious, not fun and cheerful. Something was wrong. Very wrong. Oh boy, personality shift. Sam ran over to meet the elephant, and the elephant stopped for a moment, bending over to catch his breath. What's going on, Fizzy? Did something happen? The elephant nodded, and then shook his head, looking over at the others. who seemed distracted by their discussion, but before the boy could call out, the elephant grabbed his arm and pulled him away, as if saying that there was a time. The boy looked over at Benji, telling him to stay as he pulled away from Fizzy. "Lead the way, I'll be right behind you," the boy said quickly, as to an anxious elephant. No doubt his friend had seen something that had to have caused him to act so strangely. Now he usually would. That meant it had to have been bad. But what could have happened? What had the elephant found? And why was he making him come alone? Was it to protect the others from the unknown danger? He really hoped they would be okay while he was gone. You know, Benji wouldn't let anything happen to them, but it still made him feel uneasy leaving them alone after what had happened a few days before. As they rounded a few corners, the boy suddenly realized where they were headed. His mind raced frantically as he could feel question after question that he knew the elephant wouldn't be able to answer easily. Yeah, they weren't yes or no answers, basically. But he had to be patient and to see for himself, to make sure it wasn't his mind trying to overreact to the situation, and it might not be as bad as he first thought. The boy followed the elephant, and they ran towards the group of trees, stopping when the elephant slowed. With uncertainty in his eyes, the elephant pointed, as if telling the boy to go inside. "But that's where the portal is," the boy said. "I'm sure there isn't anything wrong with it." The elephant shook his head and gently pushed the boy to go forward. Okay, I'll go." "Oh." The boy said quickly as he walked into the group of trees, extending a sword cautiously as the elephant lurked behind him, and the boy didn't have to look behind him to know that he was scared. But of what? Suddenly, the boy heard a soft moan through the trees, but not just any moan, one of pain. The boy crept through the trees, looking to see something he hadn't expected. The portal was where it was supposed to be. Lying against a tree, his eyes closed, was a young man with blonde hair, familiar blue shirt. No, it couldn't be. The boy put away his sword, making sure it was clear before walking towards the figure. He knelt down beside the man, checking to see if he could see any injuries. All he could see were scratches and bruises. However, the man was covering one of his shoulders with a shaking hand. He seemed to have noticed that the boy had arrived. "Jimmy?" the boy whispered, putting a hand on the YouTuber's other shoulder. The man opened his deep brown eyes suddenly, looking over in the boy. Over. How can Grammarly make so many mistakes? Well, looking over at the boy with surprise and relief. A small smile crept on his face, a look of pain and sadness in his eyes. "You came. Busy got me," the boy replied. "I don't think the others realize I'm gone yet, but what happened to you? How did you get here?" Jimmy swallowed, shaking his head. He winced as the boy looked at him before saying, "How about I help you with that shoulder?" "How do you know it's hurt?" the man asked in surprise. "I've just spent months with helpers and my other friends," the boy mused with a smile. "Besides, for the few days caring for animals with my brother before coming back here to help my friends." "Yeah, that's a fair point," the YouTuber sighed. "It's honestly not that bad. If it's hurting you, then it isn't good either," the boy said. Either. I say either. What? I say either one, whether or not it's either or either. Why am I saying it? It's confusing. Going over to the YouTuber's side, it gently moved a man's hand from his shoulder to see the wound. He swallowed as he noticed the wound that was seen clearly. It wasn't too deep, but he needed to tend to it. The boy grabbed some bandages from his pocket and a healing potion from another, and he gently poured a little bit of the potion on the wound. Jimmy winced slightly before sighing relief. The boy bandaged the wound. "Pretty good at this," the man said at last. Once the boy was done. "I've had some practice," the boy shrugged. He leaned back from the man, offering the rest of the potion. which the YouTuber instantly accepted. I always keep some supplies with me in case something like this happens. Jimmy nodded. Kinda wish you could have done that with Squid. Boy smiled sadly. Maybe a little, but at least I can try harder, for his sake. Jimmy shook his head with a smile. You're just as stubborn as I last saw you. Yup, the boy said with a nod. Now won't you tell me what happened? How did you get hurt like that? It's a long story. The man said with a sigh, hesitating as if not wanting to relive the moment. Something happened, and I don't think it's good, the boy said. Tell me. Jimmy nodded as he adjusted himself so that he was sitting up, careful not to use his arm. Had to use the arm to add the injured shoulder. Why is that so hard to say? Well, to say it simply, the men did return to attack us, but not in the way we expected. The boy nodded, surprised by the news. Is everyone okay? He swallowed. I don't know. What do you mean by that? The boy asked. Jimmy closed his eyes and shook his head, tears forming in his eyes. He stayed there for a long moment, trying to find the words to speak. We were just having a normal meeting. Everything was just fine. In fact, it was one of the most beautiful days any of us has ever seen. But while we were recollecting everything we'd done the previous day, we heard the sound of a helicopter. We acted fast, but the men surprised us by blocking all the exits. They threatened to destroy us if we didn't turn Eddie over to them. He shook his head again, wiping tears from his eyes. But when none of us would do that, they pushed us in to go after her themselves. Only Martin was able to keep them back until they overpowered him and took taking them away. We tried to stop them, but we started hearing explosions all around us. The men had loaded the copter's dispensers with TNT. No, the boy said in horror. But why? I don't know, the man sighed. It's just hard to believe that the men got to them so easily. But why take Martin too? They could have pushed him aside or even killed him, but they took him with them. So Nettie, you know Martin was with us for a while, and he was also a friend. Stampy's boy said slowly, not liking the connection he was seeing. There's more to this, isn't there? Your warning had something to do with it. We tried our hardest, and we still failed. The YouTuber turned away from the boy, hiding at her feet. The boy could see in his eyes. How did you get here? The boy asked. I found a secret exit, Jimmy said sadly. I had to get help. I needed to tell someone what happened. It's just... I can't stop thinking about the screams and cries of pain. Some bro even struck me on the shoulder, as you could see. Did you see what happened to Martin and Eddie? The boy asked. Jimmy swallowed and shook his head. I saw a glimpse of them being dragged into the woods, but I couldn't see where they were going amongst all the chaos. I'm sorry. It's okay, the boy said gently. There's still hope. We still might be able to find our friends. Stop those men from doing anything out there to them. Sure? The man asked with uncertainty. I have to go and check, the boy said, frowning as he thought about it. What about Stampy? The YouTuber asked. Certainly he wouldn't want you to go alone. So tell Dan where I'm going, the boy said quickly, and send him after me, okay? Jimmy smiled. I like how you think quickly on your feet. I have to, the boy said, before looking up at Lizzie, who had been standing and watching from a distance. Get him to the Caring Cat Clinic and let Stampy know where I've gone. I'm sure Jimmy will let him in on the rest. I will, the man nodded. Please be careful, Sam. I'm serious. I know you are, the boy said. But I want to make sure you're taken care of. I'll see what I can do for your other friends. Thank you. Jimmy said with a nod. He up and helped him to his feet. As the boy nodded. Standing as he watched them go, going over to the portal afterward, pausing for a long moment for taking a deep breath. He couldn't imagine what his friends had been going through right now. Stacy, Lizzie, Dan, Eddie, and Martin. At least he knew that they were alone, but still had to be scary, especially for his new friends. He shuddered to think of what damage could have been caused they watched their friends being attacked as their surroundings exploded and crumbled around them. But he would see it soon enough. He had to help them. It was what his friends would have wanted him to do. Yeah, we're gonna end that. Yeah. Yeah. Just like, it's a good time to end. But I will wait a little bit in case any of you have questions. I don't know why I'm saying it like that. In case any of you have questions. Yeah. Anyway, I also have a video that just released right now. Been out for an hour. It's, a theory about what happened to William Beaver's clone. Yeah. That was an interesting theory because it was one that I wanted to see, but since nobody else was doing it, I decided to do it myself. There are some theories that people have already done, but there's not very many theories out there about the lovely world. And that's okay. Like, I do like doing theories. Mainly I want to do it because when it starts showing up again in Lovely World videos, which is not now. Yeah, this is my book. It's my book. I wrote it. This is book 3 of a 4-book novel. We've read book 1, we read book 2, and now we're reading through book 3. Yeah. This originally was supposed to be the last book, but I decided that there needed to be one more to kind of give reason and give Stappy a chance to grieve over the loss of Squid, of course. Like, actually sort through everything and find his own place. So originally, I would just stop it and, like, it didn't give him a chance to really have the motivation to do something. Yeah. That's why I wrote the 4th one. Just to give him that opportunity to really do that. And I wanted to show off a couple new YouTubers and reveal a secret that Lizzie's been hiding for a while. Of course, I'm not going to say what. Because right now, she's kind of in trouble. Yeah. In the story, she's in trouble. In real life, she's just fine. Everybody's fine in real life. This is just like an alternate story. Like, this is very different than the Lovely World, because Lovely World series, Mr. A, RJ, Gerald, all of them, they don't exist. It's timeline. Not timeline. Well, it's only its target that's the real threat here. And maybe whoever the third. Never mind. Never mind. Like, yeah, my William Beaver theory wasn't my first one. Nor will it probably be my last. But it's just one that I decided that I just wanted to do. There will be more. It's not a weekly thing, but apparently right now my theory, except for June 5th, which is already taken up by something else. You will find out in that week what that might be, because I just wanted to share it. Just wanted to do something fun, and having it go along with the video that comes in that week too just felt right. I didn't want to switch anything up, because I'm also starting up my new series soon. and I don't want to mess that up. So yeah, it's fine. Anyway, we should probably end it there. Yeah. Luckily, I don't think there was anything questionable. Yeah. If you guys enjoyed this little video stream, it will be a video when it comes out after it processes. And yeah, it will be in the playlist.